Hodge with BoardGameGeek, here with Dave Zuckman of Obscure Reference Games. And today we're looking at Overlords of Infamy, and some expansion is included.
Yes, Misery Loves Company.
Misery Loves Company.
That's the new expansion.
Excellent. So show us a little bit of what this, or tell me a little bit about the game.
Sure. Well, the base game first, because we are doing a second edition of it.
Okay,
Overlords of Infamy is a game where you are an evil overlord trying to make everyone as miserable as possible by doing silly
Sounds like
things.
my type of game.
Yeah, well, you can cover the world in glitter, you can throttle internet speeds to 56K,
Oh my gosh.
blow up the moon,
People
divide by zero.
People would be miserable with all that.
Riots in the street, I guarantee it.
Oh my gosh.
So the idea is you are one of 11 evil overlords in the base game. The expansion adds in 5 more, but each of the evil overlords have their own special abilities. So if you like to, I don't know how you want to show that, but like Lord Aether, we have Tyranno de Bergerac, who's a new favorite of everyone's. He's a gentleman Tyrannosaurus.
Oh, that's
And then we
wonderful.
have the dead pirate Roberts, or Rob Hearts if you say it slowly. And of course everyone's favorite Waffles.
This is everyone's favorite. I love him.
Everyone loves Waffles.
Oh my goodness.
So each of these overlords have their own individual lairs that are customized to them. For example, this is Waffles' doghouse lair.
Oh, makes sense.
Absolutely. And everybody's going to have their own lackeys. So these lackeys, they sit in your lair until you're ready to send them out to collect resources for you or recruit additional lackeys.
Okay.
So the way that you're going to find new resources, you'll have one that's available on your lair to begin with. Voice of God. And then you'll exploit the land to find new resources. So for example, you put down a tile here, and then you'll exploit again to find a new tile. And these have various resources on them represented by those symbols.
Okay.
So you can send your lackeys out to collect those resources for you, and you'll use those to complete your nefarious plots. These are things like making everyone's socks slightly damp.
Oh yeah,
Or
that's not good.
abolishing breakfast. I love breakfast.
Oh, I do love breakfast.
Yeah. So that's the base game. With that, there's an adventuring hero that wanders around trying to murder everybody's lackeys and liberate the land that you've rightfully exploited, like a hero does.
Like you do.
And they have their own hero's quests that they'll be doing, which are basically the opposite of our nefarious plots. And if they complete a certain amount, then they win, and all the overlords lose. But if they don't complete the appropriate amount of hero's quests before the game comes to its natural end time, then one of the overlords is going to win, whoever has the most misery points.
So someone's actually playing
In the
hero.
5-player game.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So it's 1 to 5 players, and then Voice of God again. That was loud. Should we wait? Oh. All right. There's also a world tension tracker. The world tension tracker will move based on what you do with your lackeys. So if you send your lackey out to collect a resource for you, or recruit additional lackeys, or if you complete a plot, then world tension's going to increase. And when it gets to a crisis point, that signals when the adventuring hero gets to move.
Oh, okay.
When it gets to 10, a world event is going to happen. That would be something like, you killed my father, prepare to die. And when you complete, when this one comes out, it means the next time that the adventuring hero moves, they get to move their full distance rather than just whatever you roll on the die.
Oh, okay.
So these could be good or bad for us. Some of them might do nothing,
okay.
like there's Into the Maelstrom. This one makes it so everyone has to pass their current nefarious plot to the player on their left.
Oh no,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Or sudden but inevitable betrayal, things like that. So
Wow.
that's the base game. The expansion, we decided to make it even crazier, so now there's 6 players allowed. And Huff the Tragic Dragon has joined the fray.
Huff the Tragic Dragon.
She's burned down the adventuring hero, the Kingdom of Good, where the adventuring hero has their stronghold. So the adventuring hero then has to make an uneasy truce with the overlords, so they'll set up their camp in that overlord's lair to show that they have a truce with them. And they can't hurt the overlord's lackeys or their land, and the overlord can't influence them, but then they could go after other people. And the hero now has a hero's journey. They have to complete 3 specific quests to find a noble steed, train a noble steed, find a magic weapon, and then slay the dragon. That's how they win in that case. The dragon has draconic imperatives that they'll use, that they'll try to complete in order to win, and then the overlords are just doing their evil thing again. So there's a lot of chaos that's been introduced. We also have new overlords, so the new ones are
look at that.
Monsieur Beavereau.
Oh,
is that the wrong direction?
We'll just hold them like this.
The Marauding Dark Knight.
Yes.
She's the sister of the adventuring hero. We have Pancakes the cat.
I love it.
She doesn't get along with waffles.
Waffles and pancakes.
Yeah. We have Steve the Intolerable Roommate. And Spjarkle the Valkyrie. And then we also have introduced new personas for the adventuring hero. So instead of just being a vanilla adventuring hero, they might be a fighter, or a rogue, or a wizard, defender. They all have their own special abilities, so they play a little different each time. We're all about customization and variability here.
Well, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
so it looks like it's still in a prototype phase.
No, actually, it's the
You
expansion.
laminated?
This is because we don't have the production copies yet of the expansion.
The expansion's
bits.
coming.
So I guess you could say it's in prototype, but everything's set. So they're already
Okay,
ready.
it's already
just we're getting it
printed.
printed. We haven't received it
Excellent.
yet.
And so when do you expect that will hit?
The expansion we're expecting by November.
And the second edition's already out?
Same time.
Same time. Okay,
Same
so
time.
November.
Yeah, we did a Kickstarter earlier this year for both of them at the same time.
Oh, same time. Okay, that's great. And so we'll see it at the end of the right in time for the holidays at the end of the year.
Yeah, PAX
So-
Unplugged.
PAX Unplugged, perfect.
Yeah.
And do you know a price point?
Yes, Overlords of Infamy, the base game is $65, the expansion's $35, although if you pre-order right now from our site, you get $5 off of
And
each.
waffles?
Not yet, but everybody's been asking
We
for
want
stuffed
the
animals,
waffles.
so we're looking into it. Waffles and
We can't
pancake
get rid of
plushies.
breakfast because then waffles would be eliminated from the game.
Oh, you went there. Okay, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I haven't heard that one yet.
Oh! Well, I saw the card. I'm like, you can't get rid of breakfast.
That's perfect.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for showing us.
Thank you for having me.